Hi, everyone. I wanted to jump on and take a second to talk about something that has been a recurring theme in my practice these days. And that is the idea of addressing a coworker when you're feeling some level of conflict with them. Often what I hear is, well, it's not my job to address them. I've tried to address them. It doesn't make any difference. Um, it's my boss should be dealing with this situation. These are some of the things that I hear. I often will present to people, actually, conflict is an opportunity for you to practice building some skill. And I think doing that with a coworker is an excellent opportunity because the relationships that you have with your coworkers vary across levels of connection. So it also really depends on what is the level of connection that you have with this person, and if that level of connection is pretty low, then what a great opportunity for you to practice working on conflict with a coworker. If the conflict is very high, it may feel a lot more anxiety provoking to address it with your coworker. But I think no matter where you land on that continuum of having to address things with your coworker, um, some of the skills that you need come in very handy with all conflict that you experience. So I just want to give you a couple of tips, like some of the things that I present to people. I think the first thing you need to do is prepare yourself mentally. What I'll do is I will create the scene in my mind. Okay, so I'm going to sit here, they're going to sit there. I'm going to use my imagination to I'm using my imagination anyway because I'm having this whole battle in my head. So now I'm going to use it to actually problem solve the situation. I'm going to imagine that I'm sitting with my coworker and I'm going to prepare and present what it is that I actually want to talk about. I also want to clarify what my goals are. Like, what is it that I'm actually wanting to achieve in the conversation? Am I wanting to achieve full resolution, or am I wanting to just set a boundary with my coworker? So spend some time and really think about what it is that you want to accomplish. What is the goal? I think you also need to think about choosing the right time and space. Like, you don't want to do this on a Friday. Um, a Monday is probably a great time to do it because then you have an entire week, if you work Monday to Friday, of course, you have an entire week to really take some time to unpack it together. So choosing the right time and place is important. Do you need to do it at work? Do you need to do it at a coffee shop? Do you need to go out to dinner with your coworker? Again, that's going to really depend on the level of connection. The other thing is always use I statements. I believe, I feel, I think. When we use the word you, or we might say you always and you did and you are going to bring up the defenses of the other person, and that's going to be really hard for you to navigate that. So always just talking about what your own experience is. So that might be, I have been experiencing a lot of discomfort in our relationship. I've also been spending a lot of time thinking about you and thinking about how things are going between us. I might say that I'm observing some behaviors in you that feel confusing to me, and I just want to get some clarity. I want to check in with you, and I'm hoping that you want to check in with me. So that kind of lays the foundation, and using language like I feel concerned, I feel worried, I feel confused. Like, some of those will open the conversation. I would encourage, don't start with you, because that'll make the other person defensive. The other thing is make sure that you're listening as well and be open to feedback. Okay, so you're going to lay down the foundation of what you're experiencing and then ask them, and so what are you experiencing with me? I'm very open to receiving feedback if you're struggling with something that I'm saying or something that I'm doing. You want to create an open experience versus a defensive, closed experience. Say, like, put down the idea that you actually want to collaborate. You want to be able to come to some agreements about your relationship. You want to be able to um, feel connection, unless, of course, you don't, and you're just really wanting to collaborate so you can have a working relationship with this person. And that just needs to be a conversation between you. I think it's also important that after you have this initial conversation that you engage in some follow-up with your coworker. Like have an agreement that in a couple of days you're going to sit down, you're going to reconnect and see if there's anything left. That really helps to put closure to the conflict. And then if after the follow-up you feel as though the two of you still have not gotten to a place where you feel that you can comfortably move forward together, or like have this, we'll agree that we're just not compatible, but we're going to be respectful to each other. That's also a collaborative solution. If you can't find that, then I think you need to seek out a third party mediator, somebody, maybe a manager, an HR person. I would suggest you don't choose a coworker, because then that brings somebody else into the mix. Yeah, I think actually just management or an HR person and some organizations actually will bring in a mediator for employees that are in some level of conflict. So those are some of the tips and tools that I talk to people about when they're experiencing a level of conflict with a coworker. Have a great day.